Hello, welcome. Today is the stream which has a name The Late Night Talks, and we have an episode 169. And looks like the next episode 170 um, would be in New Year. So happy upcoming New Year. Um, wish you to have peaceful year, to yeah, to do everything you can do and enjoy a peaceful year, and hopefully you could do a lot of learnings from previous years, and in next year your learnings would be much more enjoyable, let's say that. Okay, so what we going to do, we still haven't implemented our bot to make it more interesting, and it's not able to run the news for us and put everything into the chat. We still need to make it more and more interesting. So once again, our streams are focused on multiple things, and first part of the stream we try to communicate on various topics, starting from global news, AI news, personal reflections, answering your questions in its upcoming stream, in previous streams. I'm sorry. You could leave comment and it will pop up in my notification and we could discuss it. Also, you could put comment in the live chat. So it's up to you. You can do, you can help us to do some starters, topic starters, and we could discuss it. It could be also various things around my personal life, like my experience as father, as husband, or even as a software developer, or probably one of the owner of multiple hobbies, or handyman, or whatever. So it's up to you. Uh, I like to talk about human wisdom and human decisions and about world events because I like to find the connection between what people do and what they receive at the end. But it's I could talk about multiple things. Today it wouldn't be a long stream, but yeah, we'll try to talk about something which AI will help us. So if you couldn't help me, I ask AI to help me. And AI is another topic. We have a second part of the stream. Normally, if we have a lot of time, we do some code exercises. And that's why you saw a Visual Studio Code. And we also have some open source code base, and we put several tools and utilities. And one of the utility is to help video creators or like content creators to describe their content nicely, precisely, without any hassle. So, for example, I do it for my stream. Once my stream is finished, I execute my script and say, "Hey, process that stream," and it's download the stream in MP3 format. It's then transcribe it with Whisper. It's open source um, speech to text engine. We use SDK. It's available on OpenAI, also in Azure. You could deploy it in Azure, or you could use SDK on OpenAI. And for Sense, it will convert your stream into the text and into the transcript, subtitles, and everything. And then we improving the transcript, so fixing some issues, etc., etc. We ask one of the model to do that, like ChatGPT or Mini, for example. It's fine for this task. And then we execute multiple prompts which we define for our needs. One of the main prompts would be title, description, keywords. So if those prompts are present, it will generate so title, description, and keywords. And then the last step, if we have access to that video, it can go to YouTube and update it for us. Update title, keywords, description. In description, we have special prompt to create beautiful video chapters or video sections. And yeah, it will update, and also it upload our fixed transcript. Why it's interesting? Because it's do a pretty good job even for English, but for other languages it's do much better job than YouTube itself. Even YouTube improving every day, that solution still doing pretty good, especially in describing the video and everything. Also, we built some tools around it, like one of the tools is discussion starters. We just use several news API and try to find some recent news and ask ChatGPT to like find most interesting and ask us few questions so we could talk about something. And also we created a live chatbot. Probably we could execute it right now. It would be something like live chatbot. It will start and it will use special. Okay, it couldn't find a live stream because we need to provide it. Let's come here and let's see if we could share it. Yes. Let's copy. And I need extract stream ID. So by the default, it will try to find the live stream on that channel. But because we started to use different channel ID for chatbot, so we created for our chatbot a special channel which called romantic developer bot. So now when we specify a stream, it's understand, okay, I need to find that video and need to see if it has any live stream, live chat enabled for that video. And if it has, okay, I will use it and I'll put something here. So he put, hi everyone, hello. So I could communicate with it. You see, I'm probably, if we go here to the live chatbot, to the latest one, so you see, and it's communicating with me here. It's a, hey there, what's up? Need help with something? We can say, no, we don't want, because it's the chatbot. We can ask question, what is 1 plus 1 3 divided by 3? It should be 1 in any case, but it should be 2 in any case, but let's see. Despite the, how we will calculate it, what will be the operations and so on. And he said, okay, it should be, so it decided that 3 is power of 3, not multiply by 3. We can say, and let's multiply. So now it should say 2. Correct? I hope it say 2. Okay, so it's kind of, you probably don't see because pop out chat, we can move it here. Yeah, now easy peasy, but it's simple, easy peasy. So you see, it's a pretty humorous chatbot we've created, and it could communicate and answer multiple questions and so on. So it's one of our project. Our project to help video creators, to help streamers, it would be discussion starters. So let me execute everything on top. It should be fast. And now let's execute discussion starters. It should find some top news, top 3 items. And then for each item, we extract full news content and so on. And then we also try to analyze our last 6 streams, fully last stream, and 5 streams, we just generate some summary and analyze all of those, and it will be context we send to Chatbot, and based on that context, it will generate some question, and we just put its question here and see what it generated. And today it generated the next thing. Let's communicate slightly about it, talk about it, and see. Impact of recent. So it, okay, I need transition. I explained to you a lot, but yeah. So first of all, it's my communication with chat. You should see that, because if you so it's my current live stream. So if you looking in my live stream and you enable displaying the live stream history, you should be able to see while I'm talking about it. But you see, it's my communication with romantic developer bot. It started hi there, and if I say hello, it will be always reply with starting with chatbot and some answer. So it will never stop unless we ask it. We stop it here. Why I also thought about maybe we could stop it by not always reply. If we ask it to analyze each conversation and should it reply or not. So it could be cool. Thought about. Okay. So it's something we still need to develop, basically, but not today, not less than a day before New Year. So it's chatbot, and we generated right now, we executed our command, which is called discussion starters, and it's fetched the last live stream. It's go to our channel, find the last 6 streams. It tried to find all the results for them, and it didn't try to download them and transcribe and analyze, because we already have all of them, because I execute on this computer, on this local computer, all the processing recently. So, and then it use SERP API. It's a Google API for news, to find top 3 news for a general topic and top 3 news for AI topic. And then we try to get all the news content using different API based word API news, and we gathered everything into single context, provided it to chat GPT, to model O1 mini, if I'm not mistaken, and it's generated topic starters for us based on everything, on news, on my stream, on everything, and it's the result. So it's inserted it here, and then we just need to find preview. Let's put it here. So it's what it generated. So now you have context. Let's start. And of course, I haven't read all this news before the stream. I had completely crazy day, so that's why I asked some time to provide me some links if I want to see what is that news and read more details. So, impact of recent cybersecurity breaches. Context. Just in the past 24 hours, Chinese hackers have reportedly accessed U.S. Treasury Department workstation, raising significant cybersecurity concerns. Question. With the recent cyber attack on the United States Treasury Department by Chinese hackers, how do you think this will reshape international cybersecurity strategies and trust between nations? You know, I'd say it's happening all the time. It's happening since internet was invented. Cyber attack and cybersecurity teams trying to protect something. And of course, the most precious things like I don't know, codes to send some nuclear weapon to other countries. It's not connected to internet. It's a completely separate system, and multiple military systems, I believe they're completely separate systems, and it's not so easy to inject there. What is the breaches? Breaches, okay. 99% of the breaches sitting about I don't know, 10 inches before monitor computer screen. So I mean, most breaches are human themselves. Most breaches are happening because you can send some email, phishing email, or some SMS or some other message in some messenger, etc., etc. And you trying to represent yourself as different party, and you send links, you ask some code, whatever. So a lot of those things. Because other than that, let's imagine some systems, like let's imagine some website itself, some engines like Apache, like internet informational services like Azure, etc. Web services, it's not easily breachable. I mean, it's already protected. That code tested by hundreds, thousands, millions of users every day and multiple hackers. So, and even if they discovered something, it was fixed. So it could be just specific website problems. Means that they introduce some code which could be easily breached, which is problem of that website. Of course, if it's possible to breach U.S. Treasury Department, they need to stop it and hire some professionals, probably from US government, some department, and they should review their site and protect it from any breaches. And it would be like that. And believe me, I'm more than sure that United States hackers also try to hack Chinese websites, Chinese government sites. The same, they trying to hack Russia sites. Russian hackers try to hack all like United States sites, and so on and so on. It's a war on that international internet front. And yeah, unless the system's connected somehow, of course, any hack attempt also are possible. I don't think they found something too valuable. I hope they not. I hope they don't block the work of the country at all, because sometimes that hacker attacks kinda people use them as excuse to stop some work for months and say we need to recover now, and after recovery it looks like a lot of secret documents disappear. You know, that happens, and that happens, for example, in history in Ukraine, very recent attack kind of from Russian hackers, and they just stop multiple government databases, and they, after months, they start to open these databases again, but they're not in the same shape as before. Even they said we have some backups, etc., but you know, it's how they could hide something. So who knows? I hope United United States Treasury Department don't try to hide something and not lose something to Chinese hackers. AI role in modern content creation. Context AI tools like Synthesia are revolutionizing content creation, allowing creators to produce videos effortlessly. Synthesia. Really? I not have much context about that Synthesia. Let's try to search for that. Synthesia IO, and what it says, it turn text to video in minutes. So AI video assistant, it's fine. You know, it looks like different company. I think they have I think they have different name before, because it sounds very familiar. Platform, do they have something like about us? Synthesia. Synthesia. I like that name, free. Free. Let's look. Synthesia company. Is a media generation company which develops. It's 7 years. Synthesia AI. Okay, maybe I miss it with something other company. AI video avatar text to speech. Alex Studio, Synthesia, Murph, now with by the way, Windows. I don't remember exactly how it's called. Synthesia. Why not so much result with Yapix, Speechify, DPI? Maybe it's LTX Studio. Maybe they renamed as well. I remember some other name, but I don't remember exactly. It's surely not LTX. iTuba, no, not Canva, not manga anymore. Yeah. Okay, we understand that Synthesia is old company. It's fine. So let's return. Seeing how AI platforms like Synthesia enabled creators to generate content at lightning speed. What do you think of the potential benefits of pitfalls of AI-driven content creation for both creator and audience? No, it's It's tough question. It's tough question. Right now, I believe AI couldn't generate the avatars and text which would be like human. I mean, they could ideally talk, they could ideally look, and it would be very nice, and you could understand them, and you don't have a feeling that it's a robot talking. Maybe it's a human, but emotions and everything would be too ideal, I think. So I still it would be still distinguishable from a live person. And I believe people would prefer live person over the AI avatar. But maybe soon AI avatar would be more engaging the live people, and then okay, let's use AI avatar. Okay, I don't know who will create content then, because even now you could ask AI to create content for you and it would do it better than you in many cases, unless you have your own style and your, your own smell of content. But AI could repeat it too. Okay, technical questions. Enhancing live chatbot interactivity. From your previous stream, you've been working on integrating and improving the live chatbot for YouTube streams. Yes, it's true. We did it much better than now. I mean, what we see right now, it's we done on the last stream. While you made a significant progress, there are always room for innovation. Of course, we have a lot of things to implement with the chatbot. As you continue to refine your live chatbot, what innovative features or functionalities are you considering to make interactions even more seamless and engaging for your viewers? Perhaps something like sentiment-based responses or integrating multimedia replies. I couldn't integrate multimedia replies because it's live chat on YouTube. YouTube has its own limitation. Sentiment-based responses, nice, because of course it could be different type of response, so we could just say in the like system prompt, hey, take into account sentiment of user question and reply this in the same sentiment or something. Of course we can do that, but it would be some play. Maybe we could create several bots, more playful bot, less playful bot, very serious bot, and it would be interesting. We can even ask them to communicate with each other, maybe. AI-generated influencers and ethical implication. A recent trend shows individuals creating AI-generated influencers that gain massive following and effortlessly raising questions about authenticity and ethics. Question: with AI-generated influencers becoming increasingly popular and almost indistinguishable from real people, what do you think are the ethical considerations we should keep in mind? Should there be guidelines to ensure transparency between real and AI-created personas? I'm not sure. What about freedom? Yes, it means that if you have any content on YouTube, let's say imagine, yes, does it mean you need to prove that it's you and not AI generated content? And what if you just created a copy of yourself in AI? Then you could pass any test, any ID upload, everything, and YouTube say, okay, looks like it's you, and that's it. But what if you don't want to upload your video ID or ID documents? And then YouTube says, okay, you looks like AI generated. Really, it's dumb, I don't know what would be in the future, but I think, and I'm more than sure that people will choose some dumb decisions and they will need to review them again very soon. Yeah. Okay, so you see, we discussed those topics here, and today I will not do any development work. Most of because I'm not too energized for that. I'm pretty tired. It was a long day, and tomorrow is a New Year Eve, and I need also get some sleep, and then have time to go to some stores and buy some products for the New Year Eve table and celebration. Uh, so yeah, and tomorrow, probably right after New Year, maybe the same time like today, I'll do a short stream just with celebration and with some wishes, and we will start real work maybe January 2, if everything would be fine. So again, I wish you to spend New Year Eve in a good mood, hopefully with your loved ones, with family. If you couldn't do that, it's fine. You could be with your family and with your loved ones, at least in your heart. Create cozy environment inside your heart and around yourself. Uh, Gift other people your acceptance, your love, your wisdom, and the world would become better. I think that it. You can find me on the channel. Please drop a comment so we can start with it next. Not with AI generated silly question, and not so silly maybe. Uh, and yeah, that it. See you guys. See you in New Year.